It's Instruction Derby. Here's the intro. It's not really the intro. It's just I filmed this last week and I wanted to use it again. Ah, that's the good stuff. The stuff of an intro. Eventually, I'll actually make a real intro, but I liked making a Dreamcast intro. So here we go. We'll do this, and then this will be done in a second, and then we can start talking for real once we start. Up, produced by or under license from Sega Enterprise Limited, Ltd. Hello, I'm Nick. I'm streaming today. It's Wednesday. I'm wearing a hat, not because my hair is thinning. That's not why. It's not. Importantly, it's not. So don't say it is. Don't say in the newspapers. Don't put it in the newspapers that my hair is thinning. Now that I'm turning 42 next week, it's not. It is. But I'm wearing a hat because I haven't gotten a haircut, and with my thinning, increasingly wild hair, it's looking terrible. But it's a nice thing. It's a nice hat to wear that I've got because it's a Digital Eclipse hat. And I want to thank Digital Eclipse for helping out a little bit with something that I'm doing today. But we'll get into that. Mostly, I just like the hat and I just like their work. And we can talk more about that. I am definitely getting. I'm definitely not finding the right way to wear the hat, but I'm going to wear the hat anyway. Again, not because my hair is thinning. There's just too much of it, and it's too powerful. So that's why. Home Team Game Dev is here. Welcome. Thank you for showing up. And yes, you're correct. Digital Eclipse. More and more people are saying it. Digital Eclipse. Atari 50 has a big update coming. I want to say next month. There's the Power Rangers game with a lot of really good looking sprite scaling coming up. I'm not even a Power Rangers person, but that game has me. What do they? What's the phrase? They understood the assignment. It's lit. Let's go Wednesday. Flashback 64 is here. Oh my God, this is amazing. Thanks for coming. Welcome. We've got 2 manuals. I want to be careful when I do this. I feel like this is probably like going to get me. This is like in Italy. They're not allowed to do this, right? 2. I'm doing this. I'm being globally attuned, and making sure that I don't do any rude gestures that I'm not intending to do. It's Wednesday. It sure is Wednesday, and we're moving through. I will go ahead and we'll get going on this in a little bit, but I want to call out a few things that are happening this week in general that I'm very excited about. I feel like I'm sitting really low. Yep, definitely. Feeling good today. Looking good, feeling good. This is going great. I downloaded and played some of the Plucky Squire, one of the manuals that we'll get to read today, which I'm very excited about. I'm always excited about a new manual for a new game, and this one is gorgeous. So when I saw the manual online, I was like, I have to go through this, if only because the game looks amazing, and it is. I'm in the early stages, but it's fantastic so far. It's everything that I thought it would be, and a little bit more even. But the manual itself is gorgeous, lots of nice colors. So we'll take a look at that. There is also today UFO 50. So happy UFO 50 launch to all the 17,000 people, I think, who helped develop games for UFO 50. That is probably the most, my most, what's the word I'm looking for? Anticipated game? That's the word. Anticipated game, like, of all time. You know those games when you're a kid, you're like, oh, this game is going to be my everything game forever. That's what UFO 50 feels like to me. I am excited. I am going to tell you that I'm going to go in and I'm going to go from the early days of UFO 50 to the end. I'm going to go in chronological order, because that's what I like to see. So that's extremely exciting. And aside from that, I've been playing some Volgar 2. Some Volgar 2 on. I've been actually playing it mostly on my Steam Deck. It's a fantastic Steam Deck game. They've made some updates, I think some really smart updates since the launch, to the way that the difficulty works a little bit, and how you can engage with the difficulty, and I really love it. So shouts out to the folks at Digital Eclipse for publishing, to Crazy Viking Studios, Chris Derschmidt for developing it. It looks beautiful. It sounds amazing. It's hard as hell, but in the right kind of way. When you make it through a level, you feel like the best gamer of all time. So let's see here. Oh, wait, something's oh, I have to go this way. Oh my God, it's the Valkyrie from Volgar. She brings you extra lives, and I think she's bringing us some good news for today. That I have a giveaway, a copy of Volgar 2 for the platform of choice of the winner. I have a copy on Steam, I have a copy on Xbox, I have a copy on PlayStation. So we'll get to that. By a bit, thank you. Flashback 64 Pod says this is a good bit. Thank you. I'm turned the wrong way and it's hard. I can't look directly at the screen because I'm talking to my good friend the Valkyrie. Valkyrie, what should we do? I didn't plan this. What should we do for the giveaway? And then the Valkyrie says, I think what we should do is you'll pick a number, write it, and put it in an envelope. And then everybody will guess by the end of the episode what that is. And the closest person will get to win the copy of the game. So that's it. That's what the Valkyrie said. I'm going to stop this bit right now. I'm just going to look this way. I'm sorry, Valkyrie. You're welcome to hang out. Bye-bye. Okay, Valkyrie left. Thank you to the Valkyrie for coming. Round of applause. Pause for applause. Applesauce. And we'll do that. So here's what I'm going to do. We will do the giveaway at the end of the show, and I have a few more codes for probably next week. My birthday comes up next week, and I'm going to try to do something special for it. Not for me, but for the show. Something special for me is trying to sleep in a little bit on Saturday or Sunday. But I'll have more codes to give out. I do want to do some stuff. Harris, thank you so much. Happy birthday to me. I'm just following in the footsteps of my good friend Ryu, who turned I want to say 60 it was earlier this year. Congratulations to him. So I'm just doing the same thing. That's a throwback bit. I'm going to write down a number. I'm going to do it right now so you know I'm being honest. And I'm going to say it is... Okay, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. I did write it down, okay? And I'm going to put it in this... this is going to be the worst thing to listen to if anyone watches it later. I'm going to put it in this envelope. And at the end of the episode, don't let me forget, at the end of the episode, we are going to come back, and you're all going to tell me what number out of 100 you think is in here. This is not very creative, but it's something. So we'll do that, and the Valkyrie will swoop back up and say, don't forget, at the end of the episode, do it. So that's fantastic. So let's jump into a manual, first and foremost. And let's go for it. You know what we're going to do? First manual today is the brand new game, the Plucky Squire, from, I think it's called All Possible Futures. I'm blanking on the name of the developer, and I'm very sorry about that. And it is published by Devolver. It is fantastic. The colors in it are amazing. I have it on my Steam Deck running at like the highest quality settings, and it looks fantastic. It doesn't seem like a game that necessarily needs it, but it is beautiful. So let's go ahead and take a little look at the trailer for the game first. I promise this is not a paid thing. I just really like the game, and I'm very excited to have a modern manual. So watch a quick trailer for it, and then we'll read the manual, and then we'll move on into a very similar game, Illbleed, on the Sega Dreamcast. Here we go. Trailer. Let's start it. Take a sip of water.
Welcome to the land of Mojo. Here we find Jot, the plucky squire, and his friends.
The whole game looks like this. If you haven't played it yet.
And Pip.
The whole game looks
Our heroes
so
protect
beautiful.
the land from the villainous sorcerer, Hungrum.
It's an effect I can't get over.
They adventure to the edges of their realm, and even beyond. There, Jot finds a whole new world to explore, with dangers,
call me a sellout, Harris.
surprises,
Flashback 64 says
and
this is an ad.
attractively furnished
Tell that to
accommodation.
the $0.
Our heroes must battle Hungrum across
One
the
day.
two realms
One day.
if they are to save their
One day someone will
beloved
see the
land
value of
from
this,
his
stream
diabolical
and,
designs.
$15, $20.
Off the page and into adventure.
Yes. And it is good. It is a good game. I wouldn't be doing this if it weren't. And yes, if anybody wants to make me a sellout, I'm open. I'm open to the proposition. Believe me, dear God, am I open to the proposition. So this is just a taste of what you can get with your millions and millions of dollars of ad budget. So feel free, reach out to me. Blue Sky's probably the best. I don't know. Anyway, Plucky Squire, that's what we got right there. And let's go ahead and read the manual if I can remember how to do this correctly. Plucky Squire, I forgot that I have an extra transition. Plucky Squire is right there, and we will go to the manual here. Game one, read, manual time. Now, I will say this. Usually I like to have music from the game playing in the background, which is usually fine. I do worry sometimes that I'm risking a strike of some sort, but it's usually fine because if it's like an old Nintendo game or a broadly like forgotten Sega Genesis game, doesn't seem like it's a huge deal. However, this game literally came out yesterday, and I think that you can buy the soundtrack. By the way, soundtrack also very good. So far, it is very nice. It fits the game perfectly. And so I was like, you know what? I'm not going to risk that. So this is just royalty-free music from the internet, where I searched for old-timey fantasy music. So enjoy it in the background. It is not from the Plucky Squire, but what is from the Plucky Squire is this manual right here. And you are correct, McMahon. This game is so cute. The whole thing is cute. The art is like just incredible, and I cannot say enough good things about the colors. I have posted about this a few times on Blue Sky. The colors in this game are just incredible. I think it has maybe my favorite greens of any game. It almost looks like the green at times almost looks sort of like a mint chip ice cream kind of green. It's extremely pleasant, extremely pleasing, and it all fits together so beautifully. Again, it's an effect that I just do not understand how they pulled it off. I think it might be magic. So we'll go ahead here and read about it. We've got our intro, the basics, sword skills. I mean, this is a real I was gonna say a bad word, a real darn tootin' real deal manual. So we got that. The introduction. Welcome to the land of Mojo. I can't do it in the voice of the announcer in the game. There is a guy who reads in the game. He has a nice big voice. He says, "Welcome to the land of Mojo, a remarkable realm of color and creativity." Color in the British sense, and creativity ruled by a most magnificent monarch, Queen Chroma, and home to a living legend, the Plucky Squire. I'm a big fan too. I remember, this is a bit of an aside. When I was a kid, I went to French school, and then we watched we spoke in French mostly, but we watched like those cartoons that were like, it was called Musi, I forget what it was. But anyway, it was like a big monster, and they had different language versions of it and everything. Anyway, he had that style right here where you can see if I click on this, you can sort of see how it goes. There's like a line, and then it stops, and then a line, and then it stops, and a line. And I don't know how to describe that, but I love that look, and it takes me right back to Musée. Je suis le grand musée. That was what he said. So yeah, Musée loves to eat clocks. He's got a real. He's a problematic guy, but he's our problematic fave, and he looks fantastic. And the Plucky Squire's art style reminds me a bit of that, and I really like it. Jot, a champion of the realm whose tales of valor are beloved by the good people of Mojo. But when the malevolent I'm just excited about all the money I'm making off of this. But when I'm just kidding, I'm not making any money off of this. I did this on my own. But when the malevolent Humgrump realizes he's the villain of the story, destined to lose his battle against the forces of good for all eternity, he kicks the heroic Jot out of his own story. And now, this pluckiest of squires must face challenges unlike anything he's ever seen if he's to save his friends from Humgrump's dark forces and ensure a happy ending. No pressure. I like that. When in the game you do get kicked out of your book, it happens pretty early on, so not a huge spoiler. It's such a neat effect. It's very, very cool. It feels like magic, honestly. Broken line art, McMahon points out. It's called broken line art. That is what it is. I don't have words to describe the things that I like, which might be a problem if I am to want to do more streaming, but that's okay. We've got the basics. So you want to be an adventurer? A noble endeavor indeed, but there are many dangers in this world and beyond. Master these basics before venturing forth. You fight evil, hungry monsters, angry wildlife, Humgrump's minions, and other foes are out to get you. Use your trusty pen sword to write them off. I like that, write them off. Solve puzzles. Violence isn't always the answer. Sometimes you have to flex your mental muscles to get past obstacles and progress to the next page. You can meet people. There are so many people to meet in the land of Mojo. Some friendly souls will even lend Jot and company a helping hand, if they get into a tight spot. Get stronger. As you progress through the game, unlock neat sword skill badges to increase your strength in battle. Some of these can be upgraded too. I've seen a few of these happen so far, and it's great. It all feels fantastic. Leave the book. Number 5, jump in and out of these swirly magical portals to leap from the pages of the storybook into a strangely three-dimensional realm beyond. And I will say that strangely three-dimensional realm beyond has amazing shadow work. It looks really cool. Day-night cycle looks fantastic. And play mini games. Jot is a hero of many talents and will frequently get a chance to show them off, whether firing a magical elven bow or boxing a honey badger. You get to box a honey badger very early on, and I gotta say, I would like to see what these folks do with an entire Punch-Out game, because that felt pretty darn good. You get to see this guy, who I love. He's a cool DJ wizard who you meet in the game, and I like him a lot. You have your sword skills, mostly stuff you'll expect here, but I wanted to call out, look how cute the graphics are. Look at how nice this stuff is. I really love this, and I'm hopeful that and I don't know, I should look it up. I should know this. I'm hopeful that the physical edition that comes out, I want to say in February of next year, has a manual in it with all this in there, because I love this. Speaking of greens, look at this beautiful green over here. Pages, top tips. You have a bookworm called Page. Light bulbs are inspirational and currency. Hit trees, cut grass, and slay enemies to collect it. Then spend it at a shop. I have spent most of my time just hitting trees, being violent against trees, collecting light bulbs, and I like that as well. You get art scrolls also in the game. You walk around and you can find art scrolls hidden in places. You can buy them, and they give you, early design prototypes, different things that didn't make it into the game. It's kind of cool. So there's a little bit of a sort of museum component to it also, which is a lot of fun. So you got that. You get your characters. Let's read about the characters. You got your superscribe Jot. Jot is the plucky Squire himself. This brave adventurer is a talented writer, detailing his escapades in a series of popular books. So he's a big ego guy potentially, and so maybe he needs to get kicked out of his own book to learn a little, to learn how to rein it in a little. We have Moonbeard, the DJ. He's mad for it mage, a wise sorcerer who loves to DJ in his spare time. Jot's mentor is a one-of-a-kind wizard who knows how to get the party started. He's a DJ. That's how you know that he's a Gen Xer. You have Thrash down here. Powerful percussionist. The characters in this game are great. An easygoing mountain troll and a righteous heavy metal drummer. He's a mellow fellow, but will always fight for his principles. You've also got your friend Violet. Thrash and Violet hang out with you in your party throughout the game, it appears. A trainee witch and a talented artist from Artia City who is positively bursting with creative energy. She has a real eye for color. Then you have the vile villain Humgrump. Keep wanting to say Hump Grump. That's not what Humgrump is. An ill-tempered sorcerer intent on turning everything in the land of Mojo upside down. Badly wishes he was the main character. You got Pip, the motivated mouse. A little mouse with a big heart and a can-do attitude. Pip is Moonbeard's buddy and helper and the bravest rodent in all of Mojo. We also have the mellifluous monarch, Queen Chroma. This beautiful queen is the ruler of the land of Mojo. She lives in a grand castle towering over the city of Artia. You can't miss it. We got Benny Bee. Being a bee, Benny has plentiful supplies of beeswax, a sticky substance prized by a certain beard-sporting, vinyl-loving wizard. And then Humgrump's henchman. Every evildoer needs his loyal minions, and these armor-clad baddies have sworn allegiance to Mojo's meanest mage. And many more interesting characters. So there's lots of characters in the game. Everything looks fantastic. This is probably my favorite piece of art so far. I am in absolute love with it. I don't know how it comes across in the thing. If you are in need of taking a look at the manual itself, I'm going to go ahead and drop it here in the chat. This is risky because I don't know how to move windows comfortably, but I dropped it in the chat right there. Feel free to take a look and move along. I'm sorry, I should have done that earlier for folks. There's lots of accessibility, my understanding, and I haven't actually dived into this yet, but there's lots of accessibility, which is wonderful. The game apparently can get reasonably challenging at times, but there's ways to make it a little bit more friendly. Invincibility, for instance, only taking one hit to kill an enemy. Lots of different things. And I think about playing games with my daughters, and how a lot of times they're really interested, they're intrigued, they want to play, and then it gets a little bit too difficult, and then they're like, forget this, I'm out of here. These kind of accessibility options are awesome, especially for a game like this where sometimes you just want to roll through and take a look at all of it and listen to the story. It's great. You got Paige, the bright bookworm, will share her wisdom with Jot throughout his adventure and can even contact him outside the book. Minibeard, Stuck, speak to this weenie wizard. Worried about the weenie wizard, and you'll receive a hint about what to do next. He may be small, but he's colossally helpful. Colossally, I don't know. Anyway, difficulty modes, adventure mode, story mode, kind of a continuation of some of the accessibility things. Really love it. And then you get this guy down here, which is getting a little bit difficult because it won't let me scroll to the bottom of the page. Will this work? No, it won't let me do it. I'm running into an issue, but all you got to know here is that at the very bottom of the screen, oh, there we go. Can you all see that? There we go. I'll move this back in a second. At the bottom of the screen, there you go. He's enjoying his game with some chips, the Devolver logo, and all possible futures, the developer of the game. So, quick run through of the Plucky Squire, a genuinely just a charming, nice, beautiful, brand new game, came out yesterday, that I strongly recommend so far. Again, I'm probably only about an hour or so in. My understanding is that it's somewhere around 7 hours thereabouts, but I am ready for it. So I'm taking some time off next week. If I don't get through it this week, I am going to continue through the weekend and utilize 2 of my PTO days next week. No, this way. I keep doing this way. I'm pretty sure this is rude in Italy. I don't know. This way. I will be playing this weekend alongside UFO 50 and some Volgar too. So that is the Plucky Squire. Let's jump back in here. Oh, we got Ultra Brilliant. We got Andy from Devolver here who created the manual in the chat. This is very exciting for me, actually. I hope that I did it some justice there. It is beautiful and I love it. The art is amazing. At the risk of just being too sincere here on stream, I love this kind of stuff. And this is maybe one of the best examples I've seen of a modern manual in a long time. It gets information across. It's got all the information you actually want in there, but it's also beautiful. It's fun. It has, character and voice. The voice of the game is in there. So yes, so strong recommend everybody check out the game. Strong recommend everybody check out the manual. And thank you, Andy, for your work on this. Hopefully more to come because this is really fantastic work. So that is the Plucky Squire. Go pick it up, play it. And there we go. And I guess what we'll do in just a second here is a quick reminder for anybody who wasn't on the stream earlier. We got a visitor. Oh, okay. The Valkyrie's back. The Valkyrie's back. And what the Valkyrie had something to say to everybody, which was, I think, don't forget there's the giveaway for Volgar 2 later. We're going to use a code. So Nick has already written down a number between 1 and 100. It is your job to guess what number that is. The closest wins a copy of Volgar for their platform of choice. Switch. No, sorry, not Switch. Anything but Switch. We have Steam. We have PlayStation. We have Xbox. So there we go. Thank you, Valkyrie. We'll do that at the end of the episode. So see you soon. I'm sorry. Trying to have fun here. We have fun. But let's do this. Let's take a hard pivot and move away from the colorful, friendly, joyous world of the Plucky Squire, just for now. And then we'll go into the dark, horrifying, grown-up world, grown-ups only world of Illbleed on the Sega Dreamcast. Here we go. We got a trailer for you. Here's Illbleed. Hear it?
Are you ready?
Cool.
Cool.
You'll puke with pleasure. You'll vomit with excitement. You'll shake with fear. Illbleed.
So there's Illbleed. There's the trailer for Illbleed. You will, what did he say? You will, something with terror.
Cool.
Cool.
You'll puke with pleasure.
You'll puke with pleasure.
You'll vomit with excitement.
You'll vomit with excitement.
You'll shake with fear.
And that was it. You'll poop with fear. So if there's a better if there's a better introduction to a game, I don't know what it is. If there's a better selling point to a game than that you'll vomit, you'll whatever the other one was, and you'll poop with fear. I don't know what it is. So I like the unfazed cool. Yeah. So I never played Illbleed, and I have yet to play Illbleed because Illbleed is like $200 now, and I know that there are ways to find paths to playing Illbleed that don't involve a real copy of Illbleed on the Sega Dreamcast, but I'm so taken by it that now I feel like I have to wait until I can save up enough money, take out a loan, do whatever it is I need to do, sell some part of my body to be able to buy Illbleed. But it looks great. It looks, as the main character said, in their very unfazed way, cool. So there we go. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and start reading from the Illbleed manual because I'm not sure how long this one might take, but I have a feeling it might be a bit. We'll go and read Illbleed on the Sega Dreamcast. This looks a little bit big, doesn't it? Should I make this a little tiny bit smaller? Oh, that seems too small. Hold on. What if I do this? I had it right earlier, 45%. How does that look? Does that look okay? Yes, okay, you can see the whole screen is what I believe. Let me move this over just a bit. Okay. All right. If anybody can't see it, shout and say, "You dumb idiot, you're ruining the stream." And I will hear that, and I will understand what that means, and I will fix it. Illbleed, here we go, on the Sega Dreamcast, is a cool looking game. It is made by Aya and Crazy Games. I don't know what that is, and I know that I'm kind of blocking this. I'm actually going to make this just a tiny bit smaller here. Let's go to this. Then maybe we can see more of the screen like this. So whatevs, sorry. Let's go ahead and do this too. Oh gosh, I'm sorry about this, folks. Bear with me for 1 second. This is stuff I should have done earlier, but I'm going to move my screen up to the top right. How does this sound? That way we can see even better. Okay, here we go. Illbleed. You got lots of good information about using your Sega Dreamcast. FYI, by the way, this game is rated M for mature, so if you are a child, you have to leave right now, and I will call you back. Otherwise, you might poop yourself with fear. So we got the table of contents, the world of Illbleed, and we're going to find out about the world of Illbleed right now. So here we go. Cool. Cool. It was a really good. I'm told that's a real commercial too. I watched it and I was like, this isn't a real commercial. There's no way. But apparently it's a real commercial. So I think we know what we're getting into here. World of Illbleed. Illbleed is a theme park developed by Michael Reynolds. He is most famous as a horror movie producer. Oh, you know what? And also, for folks who want to read along and want to poop themselves with fear in the comfort of their own homes, there is the link. He is most famous as a horror movie producer, and many of his movies were prohibited from theaters as they were too gruesome. Too many video nasties for those of us in the UK. For those in the UK, like that and Straw Dogs basically got banned. If you can come out alive from all the stages, we will welcome you with a maximum prize of $100 million. What you will experience immediately after taking one step into the park is a series of ruthless, shocking events. These horrors will make your heart jump out of your chest. The people who tried up to this day have all failed and died. Once you enter this world, you cannot get out until you can clear all the stages, even if you are on the brink of death. The end is successfully escaping. Failure will bring death. Be brave enough to try without feeling fear about dying. In the end, I'm confused. Is that a period? Okay, the font is throwing me off a little. In the end, you will be rewarded with an amount that will surely make you dizzy. There's an asterisk here that says the prize money is in the game. It is not actually paid. So don't think about it. Don't think about writing the publishers and developers of Illbleed in 2024 expecting your money after you use tools to make it to the end of the game. I presume this game is very difficult. And then you get a picture of who I'm guessing is Michael Reynolds, the famous film director. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Michael Reynolds. I should have read forward before assuming anything. That was correct. At last, Illbleed, a horribly shocking theme park, is waiting for you. I invested $5.5 billion into my life's work. Feel like trying it? All right then. I'm prepared for you at any time. It is part of me. No one has ever returned alive from all the attractions. I am annoyed. This dude just needs a friend. I am annoyed. I need someone to succeed in clearing all the stages soon. The more people who fail, the more money I make. Do you want me to be even richer? You make me laugh. Ha 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 ha. Want to try it for yourself? I'm ready for you. Scared? I know. See you in Illbleed. I gotta be honest. I'm having fun reading this. I don't know if I can do Michael Reynolds justice. Maybe with all the riches that I'm hoping to make from today's stream, I will. Just kidding. Again, no riches. This is just me doing it for fun. I will pay a voice actor a lot of money to do this, and we'll get in there. So yeah, horror Willy Wonka is kind of what we got going on here. I think someone should arrest him. I think he's not being particularly secretive about what goes on in the world of Illbleed, and it sounds like he's hurting people. We should arrest him because it sounds like he's calling out for help. Illbleed consists of 6 attractions plus a drugstore, insurance office, emergency room, photo shop, common cemetery, and a visitor bank. Enter the theme park as a challenger and try to clear all 6 attraction theaters. Should we find out about them? You've got the shop zone here. The shop zone has a drugstore. This store sells recovery items such as food and medical goods. Bloody Mary and Hell Nurse support you. I don't trust Hell Nurse. Support you, but in their eyes, you are already dead. You got the Photoshop. Hopefully, in this Photoshop, they don't force AI on you. It's topical. Take a last picture of yourself. AI stuff. My God, you see this LinkedIn? Sorry. Okay. It's just so dumb. It's just so stupid. Anyway, Photoshop. A Photoshop. Take a last picture of yourself. There is no charge for taking a photo and sending it to your bereaved family. Not available in all areas. Emergency room. A team of doctors is available for every treatment and operation. Choose among a recovery operation, enhancing operation, and a revival operation. It seems helpful. I'd rather go there than to the drugstore where Hell Nurse works. We have the common cemetery, as opposed to a rare cemetery potentially. Hundreds of challengers have died in Illbleed. For these pitiful souls, we prepared this common cemetery. Unfortunately, you cannot choose the design of your gravestone. It's too bad. But we also have the visitor bank. Here, the data of challengers who dropped out are stored. So lots of stuff you can do. Adobe emergency room. Flashback 64. Adobe emergency room. I don't want it. They're going to be putting a lot of AI in there, being a project managed by Hell Nurse and Bloody Mary. Now we have Attraction Theater. The horror movies, which Michael Reynolds produced, were restored as they once were when first released. You can enjoy 6 haunting attractions. A variety of horrors and terrors are waiting for you. It's welcoming, it's inviting. My understanding about this game is that it seems very tongue in cheek, and I love that the manual is playing it up as much as it is here. I'm going to pause and call that out. I hope that when we get to the credits, we get to see the people who wrote the manual because I'm very impressed. This is a good day of manuals, both new and old. Stage 1 is the Minnesota Hell Cinema. Anybody from the Midwest, let me know if that's a regional chain. The Home Run of Death is the name of this movie. His son was burned to death. This is the drama of the father's revenge as it is depicted in this popular stage. The Room, which is running at the speed of 100 kilometers per hour. I don't know exactly what that means, is full of thrills. The main character, Banballo, is rising in popularity. The main character, Banballo, is super popular in the Minnesota Hell Cinema theater chain. Um, they serve beer and food, and it's a fantastic place to see a movie. Stage two is Cinepanic, Revenge of the Queen Worm. Giant earthworms are swarming the earth. You must cry out for help, as your heart will definitely stop from this series of thrilling scenes. I'm going to stop right there. The idea of giant earthworms swarming the earth. A few years ago, when I worked at Pandemic Studios in the QA department, one of the things we were supposed to do as we got onboarded was do a team building exercise where we came up with a game idea and pitched it to the group. My game idea, which I thought was great but got nothing but negative feedback, was a game about earthworms that were growing larger and larger. It was sort of a Katamari Nobi Nobi boy combo where you use two sticks to control each head of a two-headed worm, and it goes around and eats things. And as it eats things, it gets bigger and it takes over the whole Earth. And it was called global worming. And I thought that was a great idea and timely. And I was told we won't be making that game. So that's my aside. Maybe I should have been working on Illbleed instead. Stage number three, Boogie's Fun Movies. I'm worried about this one. Wood puppets, based on a legend that is now spreading across Northern America. The lumber mill is the stage, but beware of chainsaws flying about. If anybody saw Hundreds of Beavers, that sounds like a description of the final act of Hundreds of Beavers as well. How to play, it tells you. Go step one, go to the theater zone. Step two, enter the theaters in order. Step three, view the conditions screen. This screen shows the introduction of the stage and conditions to clear it. And then step four, use the horror monitor. The horror monitor to obtain the horror monitor, look for a square near the beginning of each stage. I'm always looking for the horror monitor. We just call that going to x.com in 2024. Stage number four, Shock It To Me Theater. This is the Richard Nixon stage for all of you Laugh In heads. Anybody else here old enough to remember the Laugh In, at least reruns of the Laugh In? Killer Department Store. What is the Killer Department Store and what surprising events await you? Various goods are sold here. That's good. Are they trying to take your life or at the least trying to take the contents out of your pockets? They could be. Stage number five, Hall of Resentment. Uh, Killer Man. Who is the mysterious Killer Man? Running, attacking. Beware of Killer Man and take a stab at the riddle. Who is Killer Man? Okay. He's a character in Death Stranding, is my guess. Stage number six is Child's Place, Toy Hunter. This is the story of Cork. Cork is involved in a terrible accident and has the worst experience of his life. I don't know what that means. I'm worried for Cork. And I hope that Cork is able to move on past it, however Cork deems necessary. Step five, we're continuing the steps. Investigate, because you know what? These were on 2 pages, so that probably makes more sense. Step five, investigate. Use caution and investigate each stage with the horror monitor. Step six, get items. Look around and get the necessary items to clear the stage. Step seven, experience events. That's one of my steps is experiencing events. I put that in. That's going to be the top of my resume when I update it. Experience events. That's one of the things I do on a daily basis. By using the items, you can experience various events. And step eight, stage clear. You get a prize after clearing each stage. So then we get to look at the Sega Dreamcast controller a little bit. Nothing too exciting about here. I'm looking to make sure that there aren't any spooky details. It does say never touch the analog thumb pad, but it doesn't say you're going to die if you do. It just says that it might result in malfunction. Malfunction of the central nervous system, I don't know. Certainly malfunction of the Sega Dreamcast controller. You have the jump pack to become very scared while playing, to really poop yourself. Controls during battle, controls when you go into battle. Whenever you do not warn with the horror monitor, you get startled and fall to the ground when a monster appears. So there we go. We've got a. Okay, I got a first time chat. Anybody watching, feel free to go visit that chat. We have starting a game. We have the menu screen. I'm not going to go through all that because I know that we have character bios. But what I hope you're taking away from this manual is a deep desire to play Illbleed on the Sega Dreamcast because I think this is pretty cool. Each character has four parameters: pulse, adrenaline, bleeding, and physical strength. Those are also my main physical parameters as a person. So I think that's important. Confirmation of stage requirements. This manual has a lot going on in it, so we're going to keep on moving. I will talk a little bit briefly about the horror monitor just so we know what that is. Use the horror monitor to point out and warn possible shock events or items. The horror monitor is hidden near the beginning of each stage. I feel like I could give this to my wife doesn't like horror movies, but maybe if I gave her a horror monitor, she would be able to warn before something scary happens and we could watch more horror movies with spooky season coming up. So that's what it is. Sensor monitors, all that kind of stuff. Take your time, advance without rushing. It tells you about the emergency room. Um, you can take all operations in the ER at a lower cost if you get the ER discount ticket. So this is actually just American Healthcare Simulator, the game, which is pretty cool, very forward thinking. The random system is adopted so that locations of enemies, traps, and items change each time you play. However, the items collected during the same game can be found in the same spot as before. This game sounds incredible to me. That's what a clear looks like. I like this. This is very like not so spooky. But let's read about the characters who are going through this horrible, horrible situation. How's everybody doing? Everybody doing okay? I'm doing okay. I'm doing great. As a matter of fact, because I'm reading the Illbleed manual. I'm going to take a quick sip of some water. Mm, nourishing. Thank you, Home Team Game Dev. We are rocking. Head of the Horror Movie Research Club. Her parents operate a traveling haunted house, which they dub the Horror Caravan. They forced her to watch only horror movies since the age of 7. Take a note. Take a note. Call the authorities. This made her a genuine horror kid. Last year, she had appeared genuine horror kid, or as I call them, teenagers, because they're the worst. I don't know, man. It's Wednesday. I'm sorry. I spent all of my energy with the little bit earlier with Valkyrie coming in. This made her a genuine horror kid. Last year, she appeared on a TV quiz show featuring horror movies. With her knowledge and remarkable concentration, she easily won. She also starred in a horror movie called Killer Man 7. Killer Man Goes to Japan, which introduced her to the acting world. Eriko is 18 years old. I forgot to read her name. Her name is Eriko Christie. Welcome everybody to Eriko Christie. She's 18 years old. When she doesn't warn and an enemy appears, she rises to her feet quickly. Her pulse is slow to rise when encountering shock events. That's because she's watched a lot of horror movies, whether she liked it or not. Then we have Kevin Kensman. Kevin Kensman, who appears to be using a handgun to shoot something in the face. He is a classic horror movie fan, as shown in his devotion to Hamar Pro's Dracula series. Any horror movie made after the 1980s, which we call splatter films, he despises. He has a reputation of being laid back. It doesn't look like it in the picture, but take your word for it. He has a profound knowledge of Middle Age legends, which contributed to his high grades in history class. Kevin is 17 years old. He has all around average characteristics. We have a minor at risk of murder inside of the Illbleed house. Michael Reynolds is absolutely in trouble after this news gets out. We also have Randy Fairbanks. You can see his name, Randy Fairbanks. He's looking like he's had a kind of a tough go of it. Recently joined the horror club. He is a typical American horror movie fan who prefers the female roles in splatter films more than an interesting plot. His room is filled with horror villain collectibles. He recently purchased a chainsaw for $10,000, which was used in an actual movie. This is 1990. This is like 2000 money too, so that's what inflation. That's $90,000. It is his most treasured possession, the $10,000 chainsaw. Randy's 16, so we're getting younger here. We're gonna have a baby by the end of this. His physical strength is the highest of all the characters, but his adrenaline is fairly low. There we go. We have Michael Waters. Michelle Waters. Michelle Waters. Michelle Waters, she is spiritual. She is spiritual by nature. Her ability earned her an award from the Spiritual Capacity Association. I haven't heard back from them on my my membership. She likes horror movies that contain evil spirits and is involved in studying them. She is most passionate about spirits overtaking people and the ritual of exorcism. She volunteers in helping drive evil spirits from children with strange sicknesses and is popular among them, as she would be. Michelle is 17 as well. Her adrenaline is the highest of all the characters, but her physical strength is the weakest. So those are our characters. We say hello to Michelle Waters. We say hello to Randy Fairbanks. We say hello to Kevin Kensman, and of course Emiko Christie. And no welcome, no hello to Michael Fairbanks or Michael Reynolds, the awful guy who's putting these people in harm's way. Really too bad. Yes, this is very 2000s art, McMahon points out, and that is really good. We got some drinks. We got some item and weapons that we'll quickly look at. We got Hassie, the most popular stamina drink, slight recovery of stamina. Everybody loves to have a Hassie when they're feeling a little bit tired. You have an intravenous drip, potentially full of Hassie, filled with made adrenaline, full recovery of adrenaline. Salad, grilled chicken Caesar salad, mild recovery of stamina. Deep breath relaxes pulse by inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. You have a steak dinner, steer fillet with potatoes, full of recovery of stamina. You also have Errol magazine, adult magazine, slightly increases pulse. Yeah, just a bit though. Ampoule, filled with purple liquid, consumed to raise adrenaline slightly. You have a gauze wrap, obviously very elastic, wrap tightly around wound to control bleeding slightly. You have an injection, filled with made adrenaline. You have a bandage, not very effective, but better than nothing. You have a relaxation CD, sounds of waves, dolphins, and windblown trees. Slightly relaxes pulse. Nitroglycerin and coagulant, so you stop bleeding. Here's some weapons. So you've downed your first can of Hassie, and you are now picking up a home run bat. Jimmy trained hard with his favorite sweat-soaked bat. Are bats usually sweat soaked even after like a big baseball game? Memorable item of ban below. Metal pipe. At night, blood spills from this pipe, which is from a house of mass slaughter. Jesus Christ. There's the hatchet. Large and heavy, quickly and continuously attacks as if it had a mind of its own. Are these weapons or enemies? Let's see here. All right, we are having some Hassie in the chat. It seems like. Sorry, I'm kind of over here and I didn't see that. We got an axe. Some say this axe belonged to the infamous killer Jason. We won't rust from contact with blood. Let's not talk to whoever the IP owners are of Jason Voorhees, because I don't want them to get arrested for IP infringement. Handgun, normal automatic handgun. In America, we know exactly what that is. Fantastic. And a machine gun. Weak, rapid firing automatic gun. Accuracy is not very good. It is the clob of the game. And a shotgun. Shotgun used for hunting. And maybe killing some of these enemies that we see in the game. So let's go on to the enemies. We've got. It took me a minute to realize what this name was. I thought it said Pummy Man, but I think it says Dummy Man because he's a crash test dummy used in safety testing for automobiles and planes. Have accumulated a hatred towards humanity, which brought life into one of them. This disgruntled worker is now known as the Dummy Man. His passion for revenge has sparked life into all other dummies. He is the savior of all crash test dummies. They follow him in their quest for revenge. Honestly, they're not wrong. You got the monk killer, I think. They live near Camp David. They always hunt. Okay. They always hunt. Careful. Careful, President Biden. They always hunt in groups and drag their victims to their nest with the giant hooks they carry. They look like monkeys, but are highly intelligent, rivaling humans. They have the ability to use high-powered computers easily. No problem. I'm really struggling with the font, so please bear with me for another couple of minutes. We have the wood puppet. Remember the wood puppets? We saw them earlier in one of them. Wood puppets were delivered to the homes of the missing employees of McLaughlin Lumber Mill. They appear to be made solely out of wood, but can move and think on their own. Blood courses through their veins. So I don't think that they seem like they're made completely out of wood. If blood is coursing through their veins, they got to be warm and soft. Blood courses through their veins. They are mainly two types of wood puppets: intelligent and brainless. then it just says these monkey hybrids at the bottom. So I think maybe there was maybe there was an issue there. Anyway, these monkey hybrids, who knows? Maybe there's a lost page of the manual that I'm not familiar with. But then let's talk about the woodcutters and think about what these monkey hybrids could do. Um, Woodcutters, they work at McLaughlin Lumber Mill. Once they see humans, they cannot suppress their feelings to attack. To relieve stress, woodcutters like to chop wood puppets to pieces. Their hobby, is sharpening their axes. When blood splatters onto their favorite overalls, they become more violent. So there we go. That is what happens in Illbleed. I My eyes really hurt from that font. I can only imagine what your eyes all feel after looking at that. But I think I'm making up my mind that I might just go ahead and save up to buy a copy of Illbleed because I am in love. I adore this. I adore the manual for Illbleed, and I adore everything that's going on in Illbleed. And I am grateful to whoever it was that wrote the manual. And we'll see if maybe they're in here. We have the Illbleed US credits and the IA USA LTD credits over here. I'm going to do a quick look to see Sega Corporation staff, localization team. Let's just call out the loc team. Mitsuo Makise, Hiroyasu Nozawa, Yoshiteru Sato, Asai Tanaka, and Gao Shanfeng. And then let's see. So they did some loc. That's good of them. I'm sorry. I'm trying to look here to see if there's any master check message text. This font is hard too. Assistant director, publicity, special thanks, sound design, USA recording, voice actors, recording studio. This is probably the least interesting for anybody else in the world but me. Map designers, map models, texture, special effects, continuity, 2D. Shoot, I don't see anything in here as of yet for the people who made the manual, but whoever did make the manual, thank you so very much. And we appreciate it. Do we see QA? Where's QA then? Let's try to find QA. There's too much going on here, and I can't seem to find it. So somebody else sees it in there, shoot me a message to let me know where it is in the page. If not, we will go ahead and move along to, if I find them, I will post it on Blue Sky. How about that? My eyes are burning from this font. So let's go ahead and take a quick visit from our friend Valkyrie. Hello. How are you? I'm so grateful whenever this character shows up. So I've been playing a lot of Volgar 2, published by Digital Eclipse and developed by Crazy Viking Studios. Again, Chris Derschmidt. Valkyrie's back. Just showed up, hanging out, waiting in the wings in the green room. Valkyrie was out in the green room, enjoying some gluten-free muffins. Just a wonderful health-conscious place for us to hang out in between episodes. And I've been playing this game a lot, and it is so good. It is so fun. Volgar 2 is really amazing. I'm really having a good time with it. I love the first game. It's very difficult, so it may not be for everybody. It's a very difficult game, although there are some difficulty settings that you can adjust in the game that let you make it, for instance, through without taking damage after a few continues, so that you can at least see the whole game, understand sort of how the levels are laid out. But once you hit a run in this game where you are doing everything, you sort of memorized the spacing of all the enemies and going through, you really do feel like the best video game player of all time. And then you get to the next level and you get the absolute hell beat out of you right away, and you feel like the worst video game player of all time, but you always want to go back for more. At least I do. So I've been loving this game. I've been playing it since launch. The folks over there have made something really cool, and I'm really excited to share it with anybody here. Again, one code going out today. I have a few more that I will be giving out in hopefully next week's stream, but we'll see. I want to make sure it's special, and send out a thanks to Digital Eclipse for letting me do this and giving me a couple of codes to give out so that folks have a chance to check it out. So really honestly honored and everything. Before I do it, thank you again to Andy for their work on the Plucky Squire. Thank you to the folks at Illbleed for making that manual. These things are so fun and so wonderful. So thanks everybody here for hanging out with me. Also, let's go ahead and do it. All right, I need something from the chat. So this is going to require somebody pumping something into the chat because we are going to find out on stream what it is. Give me a number, and I'm going to give you all a minute. Give me a number between 1 and 100. And the person who either gets it or gets it closest will win a copy of Volgar 2. McMahon says 25. Space Astrocat says 42. Gotta go with 64. 46. Okay. Epsilon. Okay. Epsilon's good. I like this. All right. Do we have any more? I don't know. I don't know how many people are watching, so if it's like 7 or 8, this is good. I'm gonna give everyone one more second. 97. Greg Food says 97. Okay. Are we good? Anyone else? I'm gonna give 10. I'm gonna count down. 10, 9. When I do this, does it move? 8. Does it move the graphic around as I'm moving it, or does it only go when I stop moving it? If I move this around, does it do it? It moves it. That's pretty cool. So I'm just doing some live animation. That's pretty cool. Woohoo! So here we go. Very dynamic. What about this? Talk about dynamic. 3. Oh, that's not it. 2, 1, and time. This is okay. Somebody actually got the number exactly right. And I'm going to say that I put this number down, I think not realizing that you were here. So this is not something that happened because I was being suggestible. But the winner for a copy of Volgar 2 on either Steam, PlayStation, or Xbox is Flashback 64. Because it was actually 64. So there we go. So that's what it is. I promise this was not suggestible. This was just the number that came to my head. Maybe because I did look at my Nintendo 64 games over here. Epsilon's pretty close too. This is pretty good. So I'll Flashback 64. I will message you after you win a copy of the game. There are a few more codes that I will be giving out soon, so don't worry if you did not get it. I'm just grateful that y'all showed up. And thanks for hanging out. And I hope that you don't feel like if you didn't win, you wasted an hour of your life that you'll never get back hanging out with me. But that's impossible because we figured out how to do live puppet shows here on the air. So there we go. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Have a good one. See y'all soon. Enjoy it. Go find some cool manuals. Let me know if you ever see a manual you want to read on the stream because I think like these things are pretty cool and I'm just sort of like winging it half the time. Go play Plucky Squire. Go play UFO 50. Go play Volgar 2. See y'all later. Thank you. Bye.